This is Alex, and welcome to Barely Braided, where we're taking a deep, deep dive into foster care, adoption, and all things parenting, even the sticky stuff.
$27 now, $8 now, $9. Sold to the pretty lady in the blue shirt.
I hope you're talking about me.
Yep.
Thanks,
What
Joel.
other pretty lady in the blue shirt sitting in here?
I don't know. Probably none.
Welcome to episode... What number are we on?
I have no idea. So we got way off. And
I was swammy.
we got so far off, and it all started when my friend Amy came over. We were going to do an episode with her, and I accidentally bricked my recording device by plugging it into the wall.
Yep.
So we didn't do that, and then that put us back a couple weeks. I got a new recording device, and then you and I recorded another episode.
And it got scratched.
I lost it.
How did you lose it?
It was a good episode, too. So here's what happened. I took it directly off the SD card and attached it to an email over to Ruben. And so it had to, jet ski across the ocean to get over to him. And apparently it didn't make it because I didn't hear from him for a couple days. And he usually gets back to me, so quick. And so I didn't hear from him. And I'm like, Ruben, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, dude, I just never got your episode. He's like, I looked through my inbox everywhere. I didn't get it. Well, sure enough, I looked in my outbox and it was stuck there, but the attachment would no longer open, and I had already reformatted my SD card. So it was my fault. I screwed it up. The episode is gone. And so here we are 2 months later. It hasn't been that long.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a long time, and I feel bad about that. But hey, we're here. Better late than never.
Life happens.
So how's your day?
My day?
Yeah, how was your day?
I'm sunburnt.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit on my back.
Okay. Yeah,
we spent a good bit at the pool today.
Yeah, we did. It was fun. I feel like the kids are becoming more confident in the water.
Yeah, and they haven't enjoyed the baby pool so much, but today they seem to spend a good bit of time in there. And that's easier for us because we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and it's super cool too because we have great neighbors. I really wish we could live in this neighborhood forever because our neighbors, they're so fun. They're so kind.
Outgoing and...
Love the kids. They'll take the kids out for a swim, go meander around with them. It's a really nice feeling to live here.
You bet.
But, I was going to tell you this too the other day. I don't want to give away what streets we're on, or anything like that. But there are a few really weird things about our neighborhood.
Okay.
So I was out for a walk the other day, and the first thing you know about is that hidden cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really weird.
That's not on this property though. It's on the edge, but yeah.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's definitely close enough to where if you go for a run, you're very likely to pass it. And we've been back there, and I feel like the gravestones are some of them are really, really old and some of them are more current. Do people
There's a lot of Civil War era.
Well, yeah,
little tiny plots. And if you've never explored around Tennessee, they have a lot of family plots here in the South, which we didn't have in the North. When I used to run, when we lived over closer to the lake, there was a family plot that I would always wonder, why is that out there? And then at our old Harley store, on the edge of that property, there's 5 gravestones.
Oh, that's really weird to me. I don't get it. I'm not a burial type of person. So for the record, do you want to be buried?
No, cremated.
You want to be cremated?
Yeah.
Okay, I can get with that. And then where do you want your ashes spread?
That's a good question.
Well, think about it and let me know, because I still have my dad, and I'm like, yo, Dad, I'm not really sure what you want me to do with you, but I'm pretty sure sitting in a cabinet in my living room is not what he would have preferred.
I think he probably wants to go to county fair with you, get a couple of
gas
99
cards.
couple of 99-cent things of eggs.
Yep, and a couple of gas cards.
And I don't think he'd probably care after that.
Well, fair enough. Okay. So you want to be cremated. Do you want your organs donated?
Absolutely.
Me too. That's what I want. Like, I don't even want to be cremated. Like, I don't want to be put into ashes. I don't want somebody to have my ashes. Like, I'm not a like physical body.
Well,
is
somebody's
my
got to
soul.
take them.
No. Like, can you just chop me up and give away all my parts?
Yeah,
like,
I don't think that's how it works.
They could all be useful for something, even if my arm is like a decorative statue in a museum somewhere.
This doesn't really have a lot to do with adoption or foster care.
No, and I'm trying to remember what we talked about in the last episode that we lost, because I don't want to leave any gaps, but also like I don't want to tell people the same thing 6 times. So let's do a really brief overview for anybody who may be a new listener. My name is Alex. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Joel, and I am not an auctioneer.
So we've been foster parents since like 2018, and we've had 5 kids placed in our home up until now. Well, 6 if you count Brooks, our adopted son. He was not adopted through foster care. However, we kind of got to know him and his family through foster care. So he's 2 years old. We have him permanently. And then we also have a 1.5-year-old foster daughter who on this podcast we call Ari, which is not her real biological name. Ari is what we call her. And so we've had her since she was born, and we're kind of like, just documenting as much as we can. Our goal with the podcast is to not necessarily paint the world of foster care in rainbows and butterflies, because it can be that way, but many times it is not. So instead, we'd like to kind of share more of what the truth is like and let people know what they can expect if they do become a foster parent. So now that that's out of the way,
yeah,
a lot has happened.
Yeah, but a lot has not happened too.
Yeah, you're right. Man, where do we even start?
I don't know, because I don't know where we left off the last time.
Well, okay, so I know...
Midgie.
Yes, okay, so let's do that part first.
Yeah.
So Midgie was our first foster daughter. She was our first placement. We had her for like 6 months. She's now 3 years old, and she is our adopted son, Brooks's older biological sister.
Half sister.
Yep, half sister. And she lives with grandma along with 2 other siblings.
2 other half siblings.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of stayed in touch with their family. We have a good relationship with them. We especially have a really good relationship with grandma. And they're kind of going through some challenges, I guess, as a family.
Some challenging family dynamics.
Yes, some obstacles. And it's very obvious that grandma loves the kids very much, and she just wants what's best for them. And so in all of that, we have been allowed to see Midgie more often than we ever have.
Yeah, absolutely. We went for, after our wedding, I want to say we went over a year. Yeah, it was a year and a half, because it was September to, a year and a few months. September to like Christmas Eve.
of the next year.
Of the next year before we saw her. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And I feel like that was a very traumatic event for both of us. It was our first foster placement.
We also were led to believe that we'd be able to adopt her.
Yeah, I mean, we brought, just like you would with a foster child, we brought her into our family, and we had never parented really before. And also the way she was removed from our house. I mean, we tell this whole story in the podcast like several times during some of the previous episodes, but she was very much unexpectedly taken from us. And I say
on my birthday.
Yeah, I say taken from us, but I mean, however you would phrase that, but moved to her grandmother with no notice.
We had about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, a couple hours. Notice. No transition period. It was like we were parenting her for many, many months and getting in a routine and learning her sleep schedule and what she likes and what she doesn't like. And then all of a sudden she's gone.
Right. So that was tough.
Yeah, that was I would say that and my dad dying were the 2 worst times in my entire life. So we've gotten to see her quite a lot.
Yeah, we've gotten to go to the park and a couple times.
Yeah, we've gone to the park, met up. Her and Brooks are just like 2 little
peas in a pod. Yeah, they get along really well. And
so
she acts like a big sister to her, or to Brooks, I think, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a weird dynamic too, because she is used to probably being the youngest.
Because she is the youngest at her house.
Yeah. Well, other than she has a cousin that lives with her. She has a cousin.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's been really cool. And I feel like I personally have enjoyed strengthening that bond
for sure
with grandma. And I think it's good for Brooks too. Of course.
Grandma doesn't really talk to me. I mean, she does a little bit, but
Well, maybe y'all don't have like a whole lot in common.
Yeah. I think she's just very comfortable with you. I don't think that she's dislikes me or anything like that.
No.
I think she's over the years of texting you and sharing pictures and you kind of being there for her to vent to, I think has given you guys a good relationship where she's more comfortable with you.
Yeah, and it is really nice too knowing that Midgie is in a family that loves her a lot and takes good care of her, you know. I mean, it just feels really good to know that, and I would hope that we can continue strengthening our bond, and as the kids get older, I would like them to continue to have a relationship and continue strengthening their relationship.
Yep, I agree. Totally.
Yep. So, okay, that was kind of like the rainbows and butterflies part of it, but let's get to the more sticky stuff, shall we?
And even the sticky stuff. Yeah, so we've kind of chronicled our past year or so with caseworkers. One that moved, one that came to us that we didn't see necessarily eye to eye with.
Well, and let's elaborate a little on that because it's been so long.
Okay.
You know, if people had listened to that episode right when it came out, if it was me, I would have forgotten what happened. So the quick overview, what's it called? TLDR? Too long, didn't read? TLDR?
I have no idea.
Is that Ari had a caseworker. It was her second caseworker. We didn't see eye to eye. She made us feel bad a couple of times. We didn't say anything. We just kind of swept it under the rug.
She made Alex cry.
Oh, yeah. And then it came to a head when she accused Joel of being disrespectful to her, which I will tell you, if Joel is disrespectful...
And that's not out of the ordinary. I mean, I'm no saint, you know?
No,
and
it's rare. It's rare that you're disrespectful.
Yeah.
But if you are, I'm the first one to tell you.
But I typically have a reason to be.
Right. And I'm not going to let you be disrespectful without bringing it to your attention.
Right. Especially when it's something as serious as what we're dealing with.
Yeah, because honestly, my perspective, and this is probably not the right way to go about things, but this is just kind of how I am as a person, is when it comes to the world of foster care, I will let DCS walk all over me, and I will take it and swallow it and not complain in a lot of scenarios because I don't want anything to jeopardize how they feel about us, or I don't want to like get in trouble or...
Yeah, and I'm kind of the opposite where I don't mind pushing that envelope a little bit. Mm-hmm. Kind of a yin and a yang, a good cop, bad cop situation, because Alex is always so nice. And then I kind of come in and I'm not afraid to push those buttons because I feel like sometimes you have to do that with a lot of these workers or you're not going to get the information that you need.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So, I don't know.
Well, so all that to say, you were not rude to her. You were not disrespectful to her in any way.
No.
Not even close up to that line. And she blatantly accused you of being rude. See, Maisie's getting in on this.
Yeah.
She accused you of being rude and being disrespectful. And so it ended badly. We requested a new caseworker. So now we have a new caseworker. This is our third caseworker.
And I believe that we were assigned the new caseworker back in June.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a couple months at least.
I believe it was June.
So do you want to talk about the differences between how caseworkers may be?
Yeah. So our first caseworker, who is now a parents worker, right? She does
with Midgie or Ari's
Midgie.
first case. Yeah, she's a foster parent support worker now, from what I understand.
Yeah, and she very well liked. She was really good, very fair to us.
Yeah, she always
did what she said she was going to do.
Yep, gave us the information we asked for.
Did it in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got along great.
We were probably spoiled with having her as our first caseworker because not everybody.
Was great.
Yeah, she was good. There was nothing wrong with her. She did a good job. Fast forward to the second one we had. It was a gentleman, and that started a little slow. He was transitioning from another area of state custody, I think.
Yeah, well, back up though. This was not our second caseworker. We had a couple in between with like more shorter term placements, but you're talking about Ari's first caseworker, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same person. Okay, got it. Okay.
We'll call him, we can't call him anything, but he was the only guy, so he's the guy caseworker.
Yeah, you're right. It took us a couple weeks before he even like introduced himself, but he was brand new to the job when
he, like I said, he had been in another area of foster care, and a lot of things were new to him.
Yeah.
But man, by the end, we knew what to expect with him.
Yeah, our schedule was every 2 weeks he would come visit. When he said he was going to be here, he was going to be here.
If we asked him to do something, he did it.
Yeah. We did have a good relationship with him.
Yeah. And at first I didn't like him.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Why?
I don't know, just maybe a clash of personalities or something like that. But once I realized that he would do what he was supposed to do, I trusted him, I think.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed about him, and this is part of his job. This is not speaking badly of him at all, but he was very much an advocate for bio parents. Like,
yes,
more
he really was.
More so than most of the other caseworkers I've seen. Like, he would give them chance after chance after chance. And I know, like, he was signing them up for services. And I feel like
we're just sitting back here talking amongst ourselves, like, is he really?
Is he gonna have the state try to pay for these 7 more classes that the parents are never gonna show up to?
Yeah, I wasn't just mad as a foster parent. I was mad as a taxpayer at that point because we just keep throwing money at these people and giving them chance after chance after chance.
Which is his job.
Which is his job and is what's required under the law. Which,
yeah. Well,
I mean, they do deserve chances, but
yeah, he gave very, very many chances, and
he was liberal with the chances.
He also scheduled appointments through an agency, Omni, bioparent visits.
Yep.
And so I remember, like, every week, a couple times a week, I was getting onto like a Google Duo call for a visit with the parents, and I was doing that.
Up.
Yeah, I was doing that week after week after week after week, and they would never show up. And in that, I started to develop a good relationship with the Omni worker, the Omni employee. Yep. And I really liked her. And so we would get to talking, and we talk about like what she was doing that weekend or what she was doing for her birthday. And she was so sweet. But the one time I had forgotten that we had scheduled a visit, and it was a Saturday morning. We scheduled them early, like it was like 8 or 9 a.m., something like that. And so she calls me, and as the phone is ringing, I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I remember I have a visit. And so of course I'm going to answer it. But usually I would have put on makeup or like at least like put myself together a little bit. Well, this particular day, I had forgotten, So I answered the phone in my pajamas in my robe.
That's pretty rare of you because you're always put together.
And I had just
woken up. If you go to the grocery store, you get fully done up.
I had just woken up. Not anymore. Yeah. I did at that time. And so I answered the phone, and I'm on the video, and I just remember her saying, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" And I'm like, oh yeah, I just forgot about our visit. Sorry. Which reminds me of something else. I'm so sorry. I'm like,
squirrel,
really hogging the microphone. But I went to the dentist the other day because I'm getting Invisalign. Well, by now I have Invisalign, which is really annoying and I hate it, but I'm excited for it to be done. Anyways, so I haven't been leaving the house much. And so to the dentist, I decided that I was going to wear, instead of like a big baggy pajama t-shirt, I was going to wear like a nice, more fitted V-neck West River whiskey shirt and jeans instead of leggings. Like, it was this big like thing. I was like having an epiphany that I needed to like look like I wasn't going to bed. So I walk in the door, and the dental assistant lady, mind you, I have never met this lady. It's a big office. Never met her. She said, "Wow, you're really looking casual today."
Woof.
And I'm like, well, casual.
What do you expect me to wear? A freaking dress to
the dentist to get my Invisalign? Like, I was like, ma'am, I dressed up today.
I got a crown a few weeks ago, and I wore running shorts and a t-shirt.
Did they tell you looked casual?
No.
Well, maybe I need to switch dentist.
No, my guy's good. You'd like him.
Well,
it's cash.
I'm a couple weeks into Invisalign, so I don't know that I can switch. But anyway, so where were we?
I don't know.
Okay, so the second caseworker, she was the one who Joel politely but firmly asked to leave our home. We requested a new caseworker, and so now.
And she was very by the book.
She was very by the book, but at the same time, so she would come to our visits late.
Every time.
Yeah, every time. But also, what we didn't learn until later, after we got the third caseworker, is that she failed to renew daycare vouchers.
Yep, that's currently going on.
It's the end of August, and Ari's daycare has not been paid since the end of June.
Yeah.
So here I am like, are they going to kick her out of daycare?
Well, we'll just pay for it if we ultimately have to. I mean, it's not the end of the day.
We will, but DCS will not reimburse us, I don't think.
Right, exactly.
Like, that will be money lost. And the same thing happened. I remember.
It happened with
Midgie.
Yeah.
It happened with Midgie. And also, didn't you pay a daycare registration fee that was pretty high for the two girls we had, the sisters? Well,
yes, we did. And I also paid out of pocket for the Child Care USA.
Yeah.
For 6 or 8 months because we couldn't find.
They didn't accept the vouchers.
Yeah. And that's a struggle. I mean, to find a place that'll accept vouchers.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then we find one and they're enrolled. DCS fails to renew the vouchers, so they're not getting paid. On top of that, now they're closing for COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
It's been tough.
When it comes to daycare, like
But they still want to get paid.
They
closed, but they still want to get paid.
And that's weird too. I was thinking about that. So do you think, like, let's say COVID aside, the teachers were out with the flu for 2 weeks. Do they get sick days where they get paid anyways, or should we not have to pay them? Because at the same, like, I get like
I don't understand the whole world of daycare. I think part of it's kind of a scam because
yeah,
they expect, like, we're going to be gone. We're going to be out of state for 3 days next week. They're still getting paid. They still want their 100% pay for the week, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't go to work and I don't have, vacation days, I don't get paid, right?
Yeah, I think there's a balance. Like, I can see where daycare should get like unexpected sick day, quote unquote sick days or whatever, like occasionally. But at the same time, like, if they have to close because I was concerned when they closed last week for COVID that they were going to have to close for another 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And at that point I was very concerned what we would do because I cannot work from home with the kids here and we don't have anybody else around here that can watch the kids.
We would probably have to ask like my parents to come visit or something.
Yeah. Like grandparents to fly in.
Or drive down or whatever.
Yeah, that would be.
And that's the difficult part about being so far away from friends and family. Luckily, shout out to our friend Nikki.
Yeah.
She took the kids. She wasn't working for 2 days, and
yeah, she starts a new job tomorrow on Monday.
But so she took them. Yeah, but she lives
45 minutes away.
Right, it's 30 some miles, but as the crow flies, it would take 10 minutes to get there.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lake in the way.
There's a river/lake in the way. Yeah. So you have to go all the way around, and it's a good hike. So shout out to her. She rescued us, took the kids for Thursday and Friday, and now we're good.
Yeah, see, I also feel like it's kind of like a you're welcome to her because she's pregnant. So, and granted, I mean, she has 2 kids, so it's not like she doesn't know what to expect.
But it's been a while.
I feel like I'm just bringing her back into the world of young children.
Okay. So anyway, our back to our regular scheduled program. We're talking about
I keep forgetting where we were.
We're talking about caseworkers. So
yes. Number 3,
the one we have currently.
Yes.
We got her in early June, right? Early mid-June.
Yeah, and she came over once.
Y'all, I haven't met her yet.
Yeah, when she came over, you were at work. It was a weekend, and she met Ari. Okay, so this was also very interesting to me. Ari will let you know if she doesn't like you, and there are certain people she just chooses not to like. Caseworker number 2 was one of those people. Mm-hmm. Whenever caseworker number 2 came over, she would cry, she would scream, she would cling on to one of us, she would not go to her.
Frightened.
Yeah, she was just not having any of it.
Yeah.
So caseworker number 3 came over and Ari would go sit on her lap, let her hold her, no problem at all. So at first I was like, wow, that's a great sign. We did start talking about her hair, and the caseworker was very nice about it. She starts feeling her hair, which it was a weekend, it was kind of like not perfect. And she just said something nice like, hey, how are you doing with her hair? She was really super nice about it. We started talking about it. She offered some helpful advice. So that was all good.
Yeah.
And then we haven't heard from her since.
So weird. And we've kind of had to beg for, I've reached out multiple times. I think you've reached out multiple times trying to get this voucher thing figured out too.
Yeah, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, we don't know when it's been resolved or if it's been resolved, or we just haven't heard from anybody. And it's been, you said what, June? No.
Yeah, I think so.
2
I could
months?
be wrong.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we just haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah.
So that's the update in our world of foster care. But the kids are still so cute, and I just love them so much.
Yeah, it's, we were talking about this today. My anxiety levels are going down.
Yes.
For sure. I seem to be happier because they're not screaming all the time. Well, they do scream, but they're not like pissed off screaming.
Yeah, they just scream to be loud at this point.
Right. But because they're playing or whatever. But we went on a motorcycle ride with our customers this morning, and we're at a gas stop, and one of the guys said, hey, how are the kids? And I was like, oh, they're good. I mean, they're kind of ornery, but they're good. And he had asked how far apart they are, and I said, man, they're almost exactly 6 months. And he's like, oh, that's got to be difficult, And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, Brooks, it's like one of them is my favorite for a month or two, and then the other one becomes my favorite for a month or two.
They flip-flop on which one's
they do.
ornery.
And I told the guy, I said, it's stressful because you have Brooks going through one thing, and as he's tailing out of it, Ari's going into it.
Yeah.
So it's like a never-ending saga.
And it's always been that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have noticed that you're in a happier mood lately, and I agree. I feel like overall the kids are getting like a little bit easier. But oddly enough, and I don't know if this is just a fluke, but I told you this earlier today, like I feel that my mental health is struggling a little bit right now, and I'm not really sure why.
You hate me.
No, I don't hate you. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't pinpoint what exactly is causing it. And I don't know. I feel it's kind of important to talk about just because, I don't know, maybe somebody else is going through this. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, there's nothing bad that's happening right now. Like, life is actually really great. I think I'm just kind of going through a lull. And I was also thinking about maybe it's because I got my vaccination the other day. I got my first shot, which is a whole different tangent, but I was required to for my job.
For 24 hours, she ran around the house asking if she was a cyborg yet.
Yeah, and then you told me I had a small arm growing from my butt or something.
No, I said your back.
Oh. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just like in a little bit of a slump because I'm not feeling great, or I'm just a little bit tired because of that. I don't know, but it will be interesting to monitor over the next few days. But I have been doing research into what is called EMDR. Have you heard of that? No. It's an acronym. It's not a word.
Oh.
I kind of don't want to tell you because I know you're going to think it's stupid.
Emotional maturity.
No, eye movement. I don't know. Whatever it is, but it has to
Oh, is this where you shake your eyes up a little bit and it's supposed to retrain your brain?
Yeah, like your eyes go back and forth.
You did kind of tell me about that.
Yeah, you make your eyes go back and forth, and it's to process like stress or traumatic events or anxiety. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I don't really even know what it feels like to process like a sad event or a traumatic event. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know how you hear people saying like, hey, I got put on antidepressants and I just feel like not happy or not sad. I just feel like I'm numb. And me, like, I've never taken antidepressants. I've never taken anti-anxiety medication.
I have.
I know we've talked about it, but I feel like my brain is just that way right now. Like, it's just like kind of like numb to emotion. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's just like, I'm just kind of like, there, dog. So,
well, Daddy's here for you.
Thank you. I know you are.
If you need anything.
Yeah, it's just something. I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and it'll get better. If you know, if it doesn't, I'll talk to a therapist or
help.
Yeah, whatever I need to do.
What else we got going on? We're traveling with the kids this week.
We're going to a wedding.
It'll be a direct flight though, so we're stoked about that.
Yes, can't wait. Actually, I made a whole list. So Joel and I have both been traveling. He went up to South Dakota, and then I took Ari up to South Dakota as well.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day we traveled separately. Not me and Ari, but me and Joel. So I made a whole list of things that I thought would be helpful to know when traveling with an infant or a toddler, because by now we've done it like 700 times. So that should be our next episode.
Yeah.
Traveling with a child.
Cool.
But
what'd you learn this last time? Do you want to spill any nuggets of knowledge?
Like teasers?
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest advice, other than not traveling with toddlers, is if you're traveling with a toddler, buy them their own seat.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention something about snacks. And I'm thinking for mommy or Ari?
Oh, yeah, snacks. There are certain...
But snacks for who? You or her?
Both.
Oh.
Because you never know when you're going to be able to eat. We got delayed both times on our flights, and there are certain snacks that are good for traveling and certain snacks that are not, and I feel like I've really learned a lot. So that's going to be in our next episode.
Yeah, milk. That's important. I remember last time we traveled, I walked almost 2 miles in O'Hare looking for a thing of milk.
Yeah, so oddly enough, and
you did this time.
We'll do this little spoiler, but I found milk. Same thing. I couldn't find it in the airport. I was looking through all the terminals, all the like Hudson news stations, whatever. Couldn't find it. I asked Starbucks, and they sold me milk, which I thought was a pretty good tip. But also,
pro tip:
the Starbucks in Mitchell, where I went, where I spent some time, was not open on the weekends.
Yeah,
I was devastated. I'm never going back to Mitchell.
You're not a Starbucks fan.
I mean, I needed Starbucks. Oh. I needed it to be there for me, and it was not.
And let's also bring up the fact that you needed something else to be there for you, and it was not as well.
I know where this is going.
What was it?
You're absolutely right.
Taco John's. How could you?
Yeah, Taco John's took their churro off the menu.
I don't know who's... I can't believe my mom hasn't mentioned this yet.
Is your mom a churro girl?
Oh my God.
You know what we should do?
My mom would travel 3 miles outside of Spencer to the Taco John's just to get churros. And then she'd go 3 miles back through town and go the opposite direction.
We should
Did she like churros?
We should make shirts that say like boycott Taco John. Like Joel and I love Taco John so much we considered buying a franchise.
P.S. I did drive by it today.
The Taco John's?
Yeah.
Did you consider like egging their windows or something?
No,
asking them where they want the churros?
I actually considered picking it up for you, but I was already past the exit when I saw the sign. And it would have been a perfect lunch for a perfect mommy.
Aw, thanks. Well, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty mad about the churros, so I'm not mad that you skipped it. Yeah.
She holds grudges.
They're pretty awful. So we will have better traveling tips after this episode because we're going to be traveling with the kids yet again. So,
and I wanted to give a shout out to Dana because I think our thank you shout out to her for covering us at the Garth Brooks concert.
Yes.
Got deleted.
Yeah, probably did. A shout out to Dana and a shout out to Carly because Carly dropped off a ton of clothing and shoes for Ari.
A slew. Yes. And Dana had been waiting so long to get her first placement or to get approved.
Yep.
And she got approved recently.
Finally got approved, got her first placement.
Yep.
So she is on this roller coaster with us. Yep. So the other thing that I needed to mention is the fact that I got a message from somebody that I am a big fan of, maybe even a bigger fan than I was of Taco John's, Be the Village on YouTube. So, and I say that like that's her name. I think her name is Whitney, and that's awful for me not to actually know. But
so you're not as big of a fangirl as you thought.
No, I am, but it's like when she's doing the videos, like it's her talking most of the time, and it's not like she's like saying her own name. You know what I mean? But so I get a message from her on Instagram and I'm like, no. This has got to be fake because obviously like I knew who she was and I'd watched a ton of her videos. She's a foster parent in Ohio, I think. But I've watched a lot of her videos and I follow along with her family. She also has biological kids and she sent me a message on Instagram and I was like, oh my goodness. I felt so excited.
Are y'all friends now?
I mean, I would say we're friends. I think we're friends.
Cool.
She was going on a road trip and she said that she was looking for a foster care podcast and she started listening to this one. So I'm very excited about that. And I know like all of the listeners of Barely Braided have already, like they already know who she is. I would say like go check out her YouTube channel, but I know they already have.
And I gotta say, I kind of feel like we're just kind of status quo right now. Like
as far as foster care?
Yeah, you know, we don't have a lot going on. We're just kind of riding this thing out. So we don't have like any crazy stories or crazy new information to share with the listeners, right?
No, because literally nothing has happened.
No. I mean, we thought we were going to get a TPR back in December of last year.
Yeah, my psychic told me that the adoption
Wait.
Yeah.
What? Rewind.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
My psychic, she told me that the adoption would be finalized in September of this year, and that is next month.
That's in 3 days.
Yeah.
September.
And at the time when she told me this, I believed her. So what happens when a psychic tells you something like factual or like tangible like that and it doesn't come true? Like how can they confidently say something like that? Could like the worlds have collided and really she's a legit psychic, but something just didn't
I'll
make
tell
it
you
work
my
out?
take.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard and hoping it sticks.
I don't know.
Here's $20. I'm going to throw this dart. It's going to hit the dartboard, and that's what's going to happen.
Have you ever seen on Lebanon Road, there's like that
the little tiny shack next
Yeah.
to the steakhouse
and
out
it
by the
says,
Hermitage.
It says like psychic readings, $5 or something
I
like
run
that.
by it almost every morning.
One time me and Nikki called.
I thought you guys were supposed to go there.
No, I mean,
I
this
thought
was
you
like,
did go there.
no, this was like several years ago.
Yeah, y'all have been to a psychic, though.
No, we went to the crystal shop. I don't think we went to an actual psychic.
You
But this
two
one,
went and had a reading done.
no, we didn't.
Swear to God you did.
No, we didn't. The psychic that I had the reading done was like virtual over the phone, and it was the same.
The same
psychic.
one that read, yeah.
Yes, the same psychic that read like my mom's and your futures. So I don't. We'll see. It's gonna take a lot to get this adoption finalized in like a month. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably not, ma'am.
We have something else that comes up in, what's the date today? 29th? 3 days.
Yeah,
What is that?
our anniversary.
Yeah.
So
3 years.
What is the 3-year anniversary gift?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't either. The first year was paper.
Yeah, no gifts for us this year.
The
though.
second year was leather.
Was it?
Yes.
Did you get me something leather?
Yeah, I think I did. But I don't know what the third year is. I really do think we should just kind of like lay low this year. We've got so much going on and
Yeah.
we can do something together. We can go out for dinner. Or,
Leather is the third, babe.
Oh, shoot. So what was the second?
I don't know. I'd have to Google it.
Because I was trying to like play along. Oh, wait. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm really not sure. Okay, so we have to talk about something else.
Okay.
What is our very favorite show to watch that we've been bringing back up recently?
Oh,
You don't know?
our favorite or yours?
Ours. Body Cam.
Oh, yeah. By the way, second is cotton.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you got me a shirt.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, body cam.
So do you remember the craziest story that we saw on Body Cam that I will remember for the rest of my life?
Baron Samedi?
No.
Oh.
The lady with the car wreck and the baby. So, okay, I'll tell the story because I remember this like very well because it just blew my mind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the wildest ish I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. Okay. So in the house, there was like a grandmother, a mother, and then her 1-year-old. And the mother was also pregnant. Okay. So she wasn't ready to deliver yet, but she felt her water break way early and was like, hey, I have to go to the hospital. Like, this baby's coming early, right? So they all get in the car, the grandmother, the mother, and the 1-year-old. And as they're going, the lady starts like going into labor and giving birth in the car. There was
like a tornado also. There was like a natural...
Like bad weather.
Yeah, and power lines came down and they ended up wrecking the car.
Yeah, like right as she's giving birth or right after she's giving birth. So when they wrecked the car, it was really, really, really bad.
And there happened to be cops that were pulling up because there was power lines across the road.
Yes.
And they went and walked up to the wreck and they're like, ladies, what's going on?
And she realized she couldn't find her baby that she had just given birth to.
She said, I think I gave birth. I could feel that. And she's like, what? They're like, well, where's the baby?
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. I can't find it.
She's like, the last time I knew, his head was coming out, or the baby's head was coming out.
Yeah, and then the cop was like, are you sure it's not still inside you? And she's like, no, I mean, I don't know. Like,
she's
I gave birth and it's like gone.
Yeah, the head was out and now it's gone.
Yeah, so then they're like looking everywhere, and it's dark. It's the middle of the night.
And the power was out.
Yeah, so they're like looking for this possibly just born baby.
The cop found a baby. They tracked the umbilical cord.
Yeah, they saw the umbilical cord underneath
the back seat.
And they found the baby.
This woman was in the front seat, had the baby in the front seat. During the accident, it flew under the seat.
Yes, and it was only 3 pounds still attached to the umbilical cord, and it was fine.
And they got
like
in the
lived
ambulance.
Just fine.
Ah, crazy.
Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever heard?
That was absolutely nuts.
But like, imagine the luck you have to not only go into labor that early, have your 1-year-old with you and your mother driving you to the hospital, get stuck in a storm, and then wreck, and then lose your baby.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, like what kind of terrible luck do you have to have for the first half of that, but what kind of good luck do you have for the second half of that story?
That kid's going to have a great video for show and tell when he gets to like 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah, that's just like, that blows my absolute mind.
Yes.
Yep. So
I'm looking forward to seeing grandpas and grandmas and uncles and aunts and cousins this week.
Yeah, me too.
And Brooks and Ari will get to play a little bit with their family.
What do you think would happen if somebody asked Brooks and Ari to be the flower girl and the ring bearer in a wedding? Do you think they could do it?
Yeah, probably. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't get asked this time. Or at least Brooks.
I think they're too young.
Oh.
I don't think they would be able to do it. I think Brooks would just stand there frozen, or he would stand there and say, "Hi." Hey.
I'd probably have to walk with him.
Yeah, probably. Which, speaking of weddings, let's talk love languages for a second. Do you know your love language? Like, have you taken a test?
It's touch.
Touch. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Touch.
What do you think mine is?
Acts of service.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think it's weird that like the love language you prefer to receive is different than the love language you prefer to give? So like, if your love language is touch, I don't know what love language I prefer to give, but I don't think it's touch.
No, it's not. You prefer to give service.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But do people always prefer to give the love language they also prefer to receive? Because I don't think so.
I like doing things for you.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Huh. Interesting. Well, because I was thinking about like how children also have love languages and how it's like kind of important to also know what they are and try to fulfill those. And I think
I'm just trying to know when my kid wants to eat right now.
Well, Ari's is definitely touch as well.
Oh.
What do you think Brooks's love language is? I don't really think it's acts of service.
I don't know.
Maybe gifts.
Yeah, maybe. Ari touches everything.
Yeah, I think that's like her. I don't know. It's just like a necessary thing.
She just can't. If we scold her and tell her to take her hands off of something, it is immediately on something else.
Yeah.
It is exhausting.
Yeah, it is. especially because I'm not a touch person at all.
No, I've
Like,
noticed.
not at all. And so I've been starting to tell her, like, mommy needs some personal space. And like, if I'm sitting on the couch and she's like wanting to be crawling all over me, I'll like put her down, put her on the floor. And she is just
she's in
mad.
she's in that pissed off stage where she cries at the blow of the wind.
Yeah, she's definitely a little bit more drama these days. But she's also like
Save the drama for your mama.
She's also so cute, like how she's talking more. Like both kids
Please?
are talking more. They'll say please, please.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of like repeat everything you say, including the cuss words, which I found out yesterday.
She hasn't done that for me, but
She did to me when I was driving and accidentally like kind of cussed a little bit due to road rage.
I remember one of my mom and dad's favorite stories is I obviously don't know where I picked it up, but I just walked around the house yelling chit 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 when I was a kid, and my mom looked at me and said, "We don't say that in this house." And I looked up at her confidently and said, "Well, I do."
Yeah, you guys still say that to each other too.
That's one of our favorite stories.
That's why it's going to be so cute. Like when the kids can talk better, I'm just so looking forward to the funny things that they'll say.
Yeah.
My parents used to tell me that when I was really, really little, I would beg them to tell the nun story. And they're like, yo, girl, we're not Catholic. Like, you probably don't even know what a nun is. And I'm like, no, tell the nun story. I want to hear the nun story. Well, the nun story was this little piggy went to market. This little piggy had none.
Oh, my. That's funny.
Isn't that funny? The other funny story that they told me is that my mom at one point was getting her first tattoo. She was getting a rose on her shoulder blade.
Every rose has its thorn.
And for whatever reason, they thought bringing their 5-year-old daughter, me, to this tattoo appointment would be a good idea.
Was it with Gypsy?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
So my mom and my dad and I were all in this appointment. She's like in the back room getting needled up, and my dad is sitting with me in the waiting room with a bunch of other people. Well, my dad goes back to check on her, says to me, stay here, and he goes to check on my mom. And when he comes back, he said that I was drawing with Crayola markers on this big tatted up biker dude, drawing little hearts on his hand with my Crayola markers.
That's awesome.
So I guess I was a tattoo lover even from the time I was little.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably time for us, but we also have like quite a bit of ideas for our next episode. So I promise it will not be this long in between the next time.
Cool.
Also,
Do you have any guests lined up for coming up?
no, not right now. I mean, I've had some people reach out and I've kind of said like, hey, right now it's just kind of Joel and I doing our couch chats, but I can bring those back. I mean, I guess it's up to the listeners if they prefer to hear that. But yeah, I probably should.
They can't prefer to hear me.
No, they love you. They like hearing you. No. Yeah, they tell me. Especially like your parents told me they like hearing you. I also want to give a big shout out to Ruben, and I'm sorry that I told you I sent you an episode when it got stuck in my outbox and you never actually got it. And thank you again, Ruben, for always being like such a quick and speedy and awesome editor person.
Guy.
Anything else you need to say before signing off?
Bye.
Have a great week. Bye. Do, 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 do.